After ringing in 2025, the St. Martin Saints marched into GNAC play, coming off their best start since 2013. On Thursday, the Saints hung tough against conference foe Simon Fraser. A Red Leaf rally, however, ended hopes of a dream start to the season for St. Martin's. But today, a new opportunity awaits the Saints. They welcome a Western Washington team riding high off a dominating win over Western Oregon. The visiting Vikings hope to stride one step closer to 700 wins for head coach Carmen Dolfo. If the Saints hope to prevent win number 699, they'll have to beat a Western team they have only beaten once in 34 tries. Will Carmen Dolfo be one step closer to 700, or will the Saints stun the GNAC? Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to St. Martin Saints basketball from Twin Star Credit Union Court and Marcus Pavilion. Alongside Matthew King, I'm Danny Bach. Pleasure to join you this afternoon. Matthew, St. Martin's played toe-to-toe with Simon Fraser on Thursday, but in the end, they couldn't play a full 40 minutes against a vaunted Simon Fraser team. But can they do it today against a Western Washington side that has such a loaded resume?
Yeah, Western Washington, they are stacked roster-wise up and down the floor. St. Martin's, though, again, they hung around. They were in the game the entire time on Tuesday. That is actually a little bit of a boost going into this one. It's just that mental hurdle. You got to play the last little leg of the race, and they could have been walking out of that one with the victory. So it's just protect the basketball is going to be very important against Western Washington, and just get over that mental hurdle. Stay dialed in defensively, offensively, both ends of the floor for the full 40 minutes.
Well, playing well on all ends of the floor. That's the story for Carmen Dolfo and the Western Washington team. 34 seasons at the helm of the Vikings, 698 wins, a resume that speaks for itself, including an appearance in the national championship just 2 seasons ago. Washington has a prestigious resume. It all starts with the head coach, Carmen Dolfo.
Yeah, Coach Dolfo, she's been there, done that. When your win total starts with a 600, when that's the first thing you say, that is a pretty good sign. And she just knows how to bring in great players and make them even better. She can find that little area, that little tweak that takes their game up to another level. We've seen that with Olivia Wickstrom this season. Coach Dolfo, she just knows how to get the absolute best from every single one of her players up and down this roster every time out.
Been doing that for a long frame of time. We look back to Thursday against Western Oregon, a game that, well, you can't win a game in the first quarter, but you can certainly seize control. Western took a 19-4 lead on Western Oregon, and the leading stat line that stands out is not an offensive stat, but a defensive one. Western Oregon, with Bella Pedrogetti averaging 18 points a game, shut out the entire contest. That speaks to the strong defense that Western Washington plays.
Yeah, their defense was smothering all game long in that win. If their defense can come out and set another tone like that against St. Martin's, it could be a long night for the Saints. So it's all about the start for both these teams. For St. Martin's, you got to come out swinging, get some nice buckets early, get that offense in a little bit of a groove. And for Western Washington, it's all about coming in, striking quick, striking fast, and kind of pulling away early.
St. Martin's was able to jump out in the early stages thanks to an excellent performance from Kiana Rios. 21 points, 11 boards, including 4 steals in the loss to Simon Fraser. Jada Travis, the freshman, had 11 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. However, she did miss the game-winning 3 at the tail end of the game, but the freshman will have plenty of opportunities down the road. This is a matchup that we've seen so many times between these two schools, a 93rd all-time meeting between St. Martin's and Western Washington. Let's head down to the floor for our public address announcer, Joe DeBruni.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to St. Martin's University, Market Pavilion inside the Twin Star Court for this afternoon's GNAC matchup featuring the Vikings of Western Washington University coming with a record of 7-5, 2-1 in GNAC play versus the hometown Saints, who are currently sitting at 8-3 and 1-2 in conference play. Before we meet the players at this time, if you would please rise if you are able to remove your hats and join us as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. for the Vikings. The 6'1" senior, number 1, Olivia Wickstrom. The 6' junior, number 20, Allison Deaver. The 6'1" sophomore, number 21, is Jake Watts. The 5'5" junior, number 23, is Mason Ober. And a 5'9" senior, number 25, is Maddie Granville. The Vikings are coached by Ms. Carmen Ball in their 34th season, my goodness, and assisted by Stacy Terrell.
Moments away from tip-off between Western Washington and St. Martin's. Glad you're with us here on SMU Athletics. Danny Bach alongside Matthew King. Pleasure to be with you this afternoon in this tilt between a Western Washington team that's riding in off an 8-game win streak all-time against St. Martin's. Western has won 33 of the last 34 meetings against the Saints. St. Martin's hopes to change that. Carmen Dolfo leads the way. 34th season with Western Washington, a record of 698 and 267. Allie Marlowe in her second season, the record of 16 and 20. We're set for play between Western and St. Martin's. Avery Oster to go up against Olivia Wickstrom for the tip-off. And GNAC action underway. St. Martin's winning opening tip unintentionally off of Wickstrom. Here's Jada Travis for St. Martin's. Renders to Kiana Rios down the lane, well short for a tie-up. Possession goes to Western Washington in the early stages. Foot on the line. It will be important for Western to play with plenty of intensity. And they did that in the first quarter of play. Olivia Wickstrom right in on Rios for the bucket.
Nice start for Western Washington, breaking that press easy, and then they get easy to it down in the paint.
Travis at the top of the key, Rios to Madeline Brown. Off the left-handed dribble. Travis into traffic, Olivia Wickstrom comes up with the steal. Comedy of turnovers for St. Martin's against Simon Fraser. Early stages, first quarter. Layup missed by Allison Deaver for Western. Up ahead, Kiana Rios down the lane. Rios scores to tie the game.
Nice job by Rios, finishing through a little bit of traffic, a little bit of contact there, but getting the Saints on the board now.
Olivia Wickstrom dishes to Mason Obert. Matched up on Jada Travis. Obert browses, finds Jaden Watts over the head of Allison Deaver. Out of play. St. Martin's basketball.
That was great defense down low by Oster, not backing away from the physicality, using her height to get in great position, forcing an errant pass. Just great defense all around by the Saints on that possession.
Avery Oster, you expect, will go up against Allison Deaver and Jaden Watts often today in the paint area. Here is Avery Oster. Out to Lakin Hill to Madeline Brown. Off her picked up dribble. Brown has it again. Towards the right side, Lakin Hill. Oster looks for help. Deep three jacked up and missed by Kiana Rios. Allison Deaver comes up with the rebound for Western Washington. Mason Oberg dishes to Jaden Watts. Olivia Wickstrom drives to the rack. Missed on the layup. There on the board, Allison Deaver, who's fouled on the way.
I think it was Lakin Hill got her hand on that initial shot, but a great job by the Vikings to just crash the boards, get that second chance opportunity, and draw the foul.
Hill is dished on the foul, which will send Allison Deaver to the line. 82% free throw shooter coming into this game. That average will drop. Western coming off a win against Western Oregon. Olivia Wickstrom, free throw from Deaver, bounces on in. 3-2 lead for Western. Travis, Kiana Rios and Travis right side for Madeline Brown. Travis again. Here is Olivia Wickstrom. Travis towards the right side. Brown the three. Missed it off the left side of the rim. Wickstrom comes up with the board for Western. From the right side of Wickstrom, dishes to Mason Oberg. She'll backpedal long three off the heel. Haltage of play, went off the back of the shot clock, out of play. St. Martin basketball.
First sub of the game, Sarah Lamette in for the Saints.
Lamette coming in off the bench, something that not accustomed to seeing for St. Martin's. Lakin Hill seeing early time with the start for the Saints. Brown to the baseline for Avery Oster, out to Kiana Rios. In traffic, and the finish from Sarah Lamette.
That into the game and into the score sheet immediately. Great ball movement to find the opening, and then a foul in the backcourt by the Saints there.
Madeline Brown charged on the foul.
But you saw the Viking defense getting shifted around, and they finally got that one-on-one matchup down low with Lamette, and she was able to finish.
She'll be one of the keys along with Avery Oster. If it does turn into battle in the paint. Addie Graham-Boyce defers to Mason Oberg. Closing in, Allison Deaver well short. Saints come up with the board. Back comes St. Martin's. Kiana Rios. Left for Jada Travis. Brown browses. Finds Sarah Lamette. Airlifts wide to the right. Kiana Rios lost the ball on her way. And
foul called.
Foul charged against Western Washington. That goes against Mason Oberg. Glad you're along for the ride. Here at Twin Star Credit Union Court. Annie Bach alongside Matthew King for those expecting to see Sean Wally. Unfortunately, he wasn't available today as originally anticipated. We look forward to having him back. St. Martin's broadcasts down the road. At the line for St. Martin's, Kiana Rios. Not have the best free throw shooting day against Simon Fraser. Still able to put up 21 points in the effort. Rios converts the second. 5-3 lead for the Saints. So here comes Western Washington, team that made it to the round of 32 last season, the NCAA tournament, which included a win in the GNAC tournament in Ellensburg. From the right side, Olivia Wickstrom, the three, drains it. Olivia Wickstrom with the three-pointer to give Western Washington a 6-5 lead.
She didn't have much space. She doesn't need much space, though. You give her enough, she's going to pull the trigger, and she buries that one. Great start for Wickstrom.
Down low, Oster lost the ball. Stolen by Western, long stretch pass. Maddie Graham-Boyce counted in the foul. Maddie Graham-Boyce with the and one, with hopes to give Western Washington a two-possession lead.
Yeah, again, great transition from defense to offense for the Vikings. They just look so smooth in transition. We saw that breaking the press earlier. Now we see the steal turn into the points on the other end as well.
All started off the pass from Ellie Kroko. But Grand Boyce completes the three-point play for Western Washington. Oster, Travis the long three. Can't answer. Here comes Western Washington. Oberg, coast to coast. And the finish from Jaden Watts.
Beautiful little no-look feed down low on the drive. That was a dime of a pass.
You blink once in Western Washington, he headed straight to the rack. Travis until Aiken Hill. Right side, long three. Missed on the effort from Oster. Off her own rebound. Kiana Rios. Rolled off the rim. Watts the board for Western. Maddie Grand Boyce. Matched up on Avery Oster. Oberg to Watts. Wickstrom again. Olivia Wickstrom dishes. Watts the three. Rolled off the rim and out. Back comes Jada Travis for St. Martin's. From the perimeter, deep three cranked up by Kiana Rios. And stoppage in play. Play and went off. Shot clock timeout on the floor. Western Washington an 11-5 lead. For over 70 years, Panowitz Jewelers has provided clients with exquisite beauty and unsurpassed quality from our spacious and accessible store in Olympia, Washington. Visit Panowitz.com for more information or stop by in person at 111 Market Street, Northwest. Danny Bach alongside Matthew King. Early stages, midway through the first quarter between Western Washington and St. Martin's. Look at what we've seen up to this point. A look at outside the arc. Well, St. Martin's hasn't been hitting.
No, 0 for 6 for the Saints to start this one from three-point range. Western Washington's only shot twice, but they knocked one of them down. They're getting the ball inside. Those are the higher percentage, higher quality looks. So for St. Martin's, you're going to have to start knocking down those threes eventually because it looks like the Vikings are going to allow them to shoot those from beyond the arc. You just got to start cashing in on them.
And St. Martin's a team coming in ranked 8th in the GNAC from shooting threes. So more of a catering. Well, if you're going to try and beat us, Western says, might have to do it from a spot that you're not accustomed to seeing. Olivia Wickstrom already to 5 points midway through the first quarter. No surprise, looking for a sequel performance from Thursday night against Western Oregon. Here comes Maddie Grand Boyce for Western Washington, leaving for Mason Oberg. The right-handed dribble finds Allison Deaver out to Maddie Grand Boyce. Dish towards the right side. Mason Oberg matched up on Keely Jade Smith. Oberg navigates, kicked out. Grand Boyce the three. Missed it off the heel. Long stretch pass. Maya Hatchett. She'll slow it down. Lakin Hill. Right side. Travis. Caught by Lamette. Through a triple team. She scores anyways.
Ends a little scoreless drought there for St. Martin's. Needing to see the ball go in the bucket. Now going to try and string together some stops and get some momentum going into the second quarter.
First points in 4 minutes for St. Martin's. Right wing side with Olivia Wickstrom. In traffic for Allison Deaver. Long three. Missed everything from Mason Oberg. Foul called, however. Charged against Western Washington. So St. Martin's with the basketball with 3:30 to play in quarter number one. What is a busy day in the GNAC? 5 games on this Saturday. Conference play. Travis, the deep three. Missed it wide to the left. Here comes Olivia Wickstrom. Guarded heavily by Lakin Hill. Wickstrom off the Watts screen. Finds Watts. To the right side for Grand Boyce. In for Deaver. Rolls one that rolls on in.
Nice move by Deaver down low. That was a tough angle, but was able to get that one to roll all the way around the rim a couple of times before it finally dropped.
Keely Jade Smith. Right side corner. Maya Hatchett. Drifted it out to Lakin Hill. Travis, right side. Hatchet again. Travis navigates right side. Missed on the shot. Possession to Western Washington. Kiana Rios checks back into the game for the Saints. Trading with Jada Travis for the scoring lead. St. Martin's team 1-2 in conference play. That included program record 105 points scored against Alaska Fairbanks. This shot good for a 2 from Olivia Wickstrom.
Wickstrom's starting to feel it a little bit more. Look for her to take some more of those outside jumpers if they start falling like they have been for her so far in this game.
Mia Hatchett. Lakin Hill, watched by Grand Boys. Hatchett has it again on Wickstrom. Drives into the paint, kicked out long 3, good! It's Lakin Hill. St. Martin's finds a triple.
First 3 of the game, and that's a pretty good shooter for St. Martin's, and then to almost force that turnover there. They did force the turnover, never was touched. So that is a little bit of a momentum builder for the Saints.
Mia Hatchett came away with the steal.
Now they're saying it was touched. It will be Western ball. It looked like it was, but still that 3 for Lakin Hill was huge just to get that confidence for the Saints going from beyond the arc.
Can they come up with a defensive stop? Here's Maddie Grand Boyce. Disposes for Mason Oberg. Pirouettes through the paint. Wickstrom, the outside, looks to drive in. Wickstrom off balance and good. 7-point lead for Western Washington. The spin move around Casey Booster. Lakin Hill. Out to Kiana Rios. Lamette out to Booster. Rios. Booster again. Looking for Maya Hatchett off of Olivia Wickstrom. St. Martin basketball.
Anna Vanderyacht coming in for the Vikings.
From Linden, Washington, played for the high school team out in Linden. Always have had excellent programs. The 2A ranks. Maya Hatchett infuses herself into the stat sheet with a 2-point bucket. 1 minute remaining in quarter number 1. On the top of the key, Mason Oberg harassed by Hatchett and Rios. Foul called. 52 seconds remain. Foul is on Kiana Rios. That's her second.
Probably see her sub out for the last 52 seconds as Madeline Brown comes back in. It feels like an important possession, though, for the Saints. Get a stop, get a bucket, and you could be looking at just a 3-point deficit after a quarter where you really struggled shooting the basketball, and you know all 4 quarters ain't going to go like that.
And a foul charge called against Madeline Brown, who was in to replace Kiana Rios. So the Saints, without their leading scorer, who's on the bench already with 2 fouls in the first quarter. Jada Travis checks in place of Madeline Brown. Allison Deaver at the line. Second trip to the free throw line. 1 for 2 first trip. Scores on the first. And Sumner native. 2 for 2 at the line to go 3 for 4 in the first quarter. Western in the bonus the rest of the way in quarter number 1. Jada Travis looks to take it herself. Booster, the 3, missed it. Mia Hatchett comes up with a board. Travis harassed by Watts. Shot put up and missed. The follow-up attempt, and Western can hold for the last shot. Mason Oberg. Watched by Travis. Mason Oberg, 28% three-point shooter. Off the screen from Deaver, kicked out Wickstrom, the 3, in and out. Watts missed on the second chance, And that's the way the first quarter comes to a close. Western Washington, a 19-12 lead on St. Martin's. We'll take a break, and we'll be back for second quarter action here on SMU Athletics. Back live, Marcus Pavilion, Danny Bach alongside Matthew King. 19-12 lead for Western Washington. Western with that 7-point edge, and a lot of it has come to shooting in the field.
Yeah, Western Washington 7 for 16 in that first quarter, 5 for 17 for St. Martin's. That 1 for 9 for the Saints. That's going to be the one from beyond the arc. They really got to get those 3-point shots dropping. Lake and Hill hit that one, see if that gets the Saints going.
Left side with Allison Deaver from the elbow. And a Vanderyacht in the game for Western. Driving and an offensive foul called on Allison Deaver.
Yeah, she threw a little bit extra out into that screen, kind of threw that hip out there. Just get that little bit of extra space. Good catch by the official. And good start to the second quarter for St. Martin's, getting that stop, see if you can cash in with the bucket.
That'll be the big question surrounding St. Martin's. 1 for 9 from 3. Only successful conversion from beyond the arc came from Lake and Hill, who is not on the floor. Maya Hatchett. Casey Booster has the propensity to shoot threes. Booster browses to Travis, long 3. Rolled off the rim, Booster is there. She misses the layup off of Maya Hatchett. Western Washington possession.
That's one where St. Martin's got to start getting those second chance opportunities and cashing in on them. They've had a couple where they just have missed the follow-up. When you get those second chances against a team like Western, you got to be able to take advantage.
Here is Mason Oberg. Olivia Wickstrom off the pump fake. Drives inside, blocked on the play by Sarah Lamette.
Sarah Lamette is having herself a mighty fine first half. 4 points, coming up with that huge block, doing a great job on the boards. That was a beautiful block shot by Lamette.
Lamette using her 6'4" frame to excellence. Right side, Wickstrom drives in on Oster and scores. Olivia Wickstrom on the bucket, and a 9-point lead for Western Washington. Right side, Booster out of the reach of Hatchett. Olivia Wickstrom around Booster, harassed by Oster, and the board claimed by Lamette. Here's Maya Hatchett. Expedites in, lost her footing. Foul charged against Western Washington. That goes against Mason Oberg. 8:21 left. Beg your pardon. Anna Vanderyacht called with her first personal.
Kiana Rios and Lake and Hill back in for the Saints for the first time in the second quarter.
Here is Kiana Rios with 2 fouls. Lake and Hill right side for Jada Travis. Booster to Hill. Lamette kicked out to Travis. Rios the 3. Missed off the rim. Booster comes up with the board for St. Martin's. Rios looks for an open option. Said discerns to Booster to Travis. Jada Travis. 3 to shoot. Travis the 3 off the heel. The board salvaged by St. Martin's off of Maddie Grandboys.
And this is now their third opportunity on this possession. You got to get points. You get this many looks on the offensive end.
Skied out to Rios. Hill right side for Travis. Here is Casey Booster. Travis to Lakin Hill. Off the left-handed dribble. Booster corrals. Hounded by Deaver. 3 to shoot. Travis drives the lane. Dumped by Lamette. Possession to Western with the shot clock already dwindling.
It's a long defensive stand there for Western Washington, but they come up with the stop. I want to see St. Martin's get the ball in the paint a little bit. We didn't really see them try and get that entry pass to Lamette. You got to get her a touch, especially she's off to a nice start. Feed her the ball, get that defense drawn in a little bit, and get those shooters open on the outside. Lamette,
4 points. The game's only block. Kiana Rios fetches for the steal before over and back. St. Martin's able to steal a possession. 7:08 to play in the first half. Western Washington with a 9-point lead. 2-1 record in the GNAC. Their lone loss coming against Montana State University Billings, team they beat in the GNAC championship last year. Might not be last time you'll see those two teams meeting in the Pacific time zone. 7 to shoot. Hill out to Travis, the 3. Missed it. Rebound, Rios scores! Kiana Rios, right place, right time. Timeout on the floor. Through innovative products and services, Twin Star Credit Union is committed to helping its 250,000 plus members achieve financial success. Because we're a not-for-profit credit union, we focus on what matters most, helping the people and communities we serve thrive. At Twin Star, you'll find unmatched service. Here, we're on a first-name basis with our members. Stop by one of our local branches or visit twinstarcu.com to learn more. Danny Bach alongside Matthew King, where we have seen shooting, well, as far as Western Washington is concerned, they have dwindled partially, but St. Martin's, they're looking to claw back.
Yeah, and Coach Dolfo immediately was not liking what she saw from her defense on the glass. Way too many offensive rebounds for St. Martin's, and they were finally able to cash in an easy 2 on that one for Rio. So kind of a little reset. I really like what we've seen from St. Martin's, though. They are crashing the boards. They're getting second and even third chance opportunities. When the ball isn't dropping, the shots aren't dropping, 2-3 opportunities, you're going to eventually hit one, right?
One's got to fall, you would think. 7-point game. St. Martin's 1-2 record in the GNAC, with losses to Simon Fraser and University of Alaska Anchorage. Two teams that are in the upper ranks of the GNAC. Up the floor comes Mason Oberg. Matched up on Lakin Hill for St. Martin's. Jaden Watts discerns to Deaver. Grand Boyce had it stolen away by Keely Jade Smith. Right side, Lakin Hill. Closing baseline, Rios dish. Jada Travis counted as a foul for Jada Travis.
Give a lot of credit to Keely Jade Smith. These bench players for the Saints are coming out and they're doing all the little things. They're not jumping out onto the score sheet. They're doing the little things. The steal, great feat by Rios, and a great job by Travis to finish through contact. Now you can get the 3-point play the old-fashioned way.
So it's Keely Jade Smith with the steal. Jada Travis completes the 3-point play. It's a 4-point game with 6:11 left. Avery Oster checks in in the place of Kiana Rios.
Now you've got both Oster as well as Lamette on the floor. You got to get some touches in the paint now if you're St. Martin's. You got the height advantage now for sure.
This is Maddie Green Boyce. Allison Deaver left side for Mason Oberg. Looks to drift on Keely Jade Smith. Kicked out. Wickstrom, the three, nails it. Olivia Wickstrom extends the Western Washington lead to 7. And a steal. Wickstrom on it again. 2-on-1 if they hurry. Wickstrom sachets inside, short on the layup. And a foul called. Wickstrom frustrated that she missed that layup. So Western with possession from the baseline.
That's where having a superstar like Olivia Wickstrom can be so beneficial. You need a bucket. You're in a little bit of a slump. She gets you the 3, then immediately gets the steal and almost another 2. Just getting those extra possessions, she can take over the game in the blink of an eye.
Oberg finds Wickstrom again. Keely Jade Smith defends her. Lobbed up high. Jaden Watts with the layup. Olivia Wickstrom with the 3. Jaden Watts soon follows. Back-to-back buckets for Western Washington. Keely Jade Smith finds Jada Travis. Lost it out of play. Possession to Western Washington. Inbounding for the Vikings, Allison Deaver.
Casey Booster just checked back in for the Saints.
Booster had a breakout game in non-conference play against Multnomah. 19 points. This long shot missed by Oberg. Oster can't find the board. Dislodged out of play. Possession stays with Western Washington. 4:52 remains in the first half. Coming up at halftime, we'll have stats analysis. First half of play between Western Washington and St. Martin's. Look at scores throughout the GNAC. Also, other scores from around the Pacific Northwest. Mason Oberg dishes Jaden Watts. Picks up her dribble. Airlifted out to Olivia Wickstrom. She'll drive on Keely Jade Smith. Great defense. St. Martin's forces the empty possession. Keely Jade Smith. Left wing side, Mia Hatchett. Browse from Oster, Hatchett, the 3. Funneled out. Casey Booster comes up with the board for St. Martin's. Booster drives baseline. Sarah Lamette tried to fling one in the air. Met lost her footing. Western with the basketball. Wickstrom to Deaver. Awkward looking 3 goes in. A hurried shot from Allison Deaver. She scores anyways. And Western Washington with a 12-point lead. Stay up to date on all things Saints by following us on social media at SMU Saints or by heading to our website, smusaints.com. Well, the story we talk about the paint battle, and although it's rather even, Western Washington, however, has made the most of their opportunities, nursing a 12-point lead.
Again, neither of these teams shooting lights out from beyond the arc. Western Washington, 3 for 8 from three-point range. That's pretty solid. But when you're getting that ball in the paint like Western Washington is right now, those are the higher percentage shots. When you're struggling shooting the basketball, you want to get it in the paint. You want to get it closer to the basket. Obviously, that means it's going to be an easier shot, and they're really starting to do that. And it's opening things up for those three-point shooters. Now we're starting to see the 3-ball go for Western Washington. Makes it tough to defend if you're St. Martin's.
And for the Saints side of the equation, scoring, you would hope you would see a player take control of the game, maybe Kiana Rios or Jada Travis, but they've been locked up by this Western Washington defense.
Yeah, Western Washington's looked really good on the defensive end of the floor. And, again, we kind of talked about it for the Saints. Got to get the ball inside the paint a little bit more. Get that defense to collapse a little bit. Open things up. I love what Rios and Travis, those are obviously the shooters that they're looking to get going. If you get that defense drawn in a little bit on your posts, it's going to give them those open looks, and eventually they're going to get one. And just like in golf, once you see the ball go in the hole once, all of a sudden it can snowball.
Snowball effect, and the Saints look to have just that. And this is what this Saints team can do. They can find one strike after another, and we saw that against Simon Fraser. Here's Casey Booster out to Keely Jade Smith. And Hatchet. First look at Eternity Reed today. Keely Jade Smith drives inside, fouled on the way. St. Martin's possession at the baseline. In Watts, West Seattle High School product. You see an exhibit of so much talent from Washington high schools on the floor. That's one of the byproducts of the GNAC.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for these players to stay local but play very high-quality, high-level basketball. The GNAC, fantastic level of competition for any high school athlete in any sport.
Maya Hatchet defers to Eternity Reed. Longest-serving member for the Saints team. 4 to shoot. Keely Jade Smith misses on the try. Grand Boys comes up with the board. A collision and a foul called against Mia Hatchet. Here's Western to inbound. With a 12-point lead for the Vikings of Western Washington. From the right side, Mason Oberg. A collision. Possession stays with Western Washington.
Eternity Reed saying, get out of here with that. Oh, no, they did call a foul. It looked like it was cleaning up here. But
she did say so, but the
officials disagreed. Yeah, there you go.
We're too kind to Eternity Reed. From the Santa Monica area in California. Here's Mason Oberg. True on the first free throw. Largest lead for Western Washington, up to 13. Here's Oberg again. Plenty of opportunities from the line. She goes 2 for 2. And back comes St. Martin's, down by 14. Well, maybe not. There they went, and, well, they traveled. Keely Jade Smith, one step too many. Western Washington looks to continue to pour it on.
Now a 10-0 run for the Vikings. They are cooking on the offensive end of the floor.
From the right side, elevated jumper missed by Watts. Maya Hatchet comes away with the loose ball for SMU. Hatchet to Booster. Keely Jade Smith out to Eternity Reed. This is Booster to Maya Hatchet. Keely Jade Smith closing in Booster out to Hatchet. Fakes the 3. 10 to shoot. Lost out of play off the legs of Sarah Lamette. The Vikings of Western Washington take over.
Things look a little frantic on the offensive end of the floor for the Saints right now.
As a coach, Matthew, would you say to slow it down if you were St. Martin's?
Yeah, which is easy to say, but with how Western Washington's playing defense, slowing it down is just going to make their defense even more comfortable. So you got to find that fine mix between speed and slowing it down, not playing too fast, but still getting that defense out of their rhythm a little bit.
St. Martin's in a zone. Ellie Brockman. Drive inside, foul call with 2 minutes remaining. Foul charged against Sarah Lamette. Fouls already starting to pick up for the Saints. Sent Western into the bonus in the first quarter. Maddie Grand Boyce adds to the Western lead. 16-point lead for Western Washington. Left side, Keely Jade Smith. Lamette from the elbow. Booster boosts the Saints with the 3 to cut the deficit to 13.
I felt like it was only a matter of time before Casey Booster dropped a shot in there, and that was a big one. Ends that 12-0 run and trying to get the Saints back going. Like you're saying, trying to boost them back up a little bit.
Oberg, no-look pass, finds Allison Deaver. Tie up, jump ball, possession to St. Martin's.
Olivia Wigstrom going to come back in for Western Washington, and Kiana Rios for St. Martin's.
1:25 left. Maya Hatchett, Reed, left wing side, top of the key. Hatchett, right corner. Kiana Rios browses. Hatchett, Render, right side, flown, nearly picked off by Maddie Grandbois. 63 seconds left in the first half.
I feel like Grandbois was kind of baiting that pass, that skip pass. Just mistimed it a little bit. Otherwise, she was going to get an easy fast break layup.
Maya Hatchett closes. Lost the ball, defended well by Ellie Croco. Here comes Olivia Wickstrom to the top of the key. Right side, Grandbois, watched by Booster. Here's Allison Deaver. Wickstrom up high for Allison Deaver. Looped one and rolled off the rim. St. Martin's left side with Keely Jade Smith. Flown and fouled by Deaver. This is the 93rd all-time meeting between the two sides. Special credit to Jeff Evans, SID for Western Washington, who does a fantastic job of all the information, keeping track of all the records, you name it. Jeff Evans, hats off to you. Free throw missed by Keely Jade Smith, with St. Martin's in the bonus. Second attempt is true from Keely Jade Smith. 12-point game. Here comes Western Washington. Oberg, flown to Olivia Wickstrom. From the left side, she'll close in, look for help. With the shot clock and game clock nearly in sync. Off the right-handed dribble, Oberg. Off the Watt screen, 5 seconds left. Oberg off her right foot, flings one in as the half comes to a close. What a shot from Mason Oberg to close out the first half. Western Washington putting on a clinic. They lead 35-21 as we head into the break. As we are in halftime with Western Washington with a 35-21 lead. A look at some of the standouts so far. Well, Olivia Wickstrom, 20 points against Western Oregon last Thursday. Wickstrom, well, with another sequel performance. Wickstrom with going 6 of 12 from the field, 2 of 3 from beyond the arc, already with 14 points. Western also doing it well with Olivia Wickstrom offensively. Matthew King also on the defensive side.
Yeah, 3 steals on defense for Olivia Wickstrom in that first half. She was all over the place. 4 rebounds as well. She's a leading rebounder. Oh, yeah, she's doing it all right now for Western Washington. So, obviously, St. Martin's, that's going to be a player you're going to have to circle and try and slow down. Easier said than done. I hope you're not asking me how, Danny.
That would be a tough question. I know you have quite a bit of knowledge of basketball, but that would be a tough test, especially for you, Matthew King. But also, it's not only Olivia Wickstrom. A lot of depth for Carmen Dolfo's side.
5 different players have scored multiple buckets on offense for Western Washington. Again, 7 assists from Mason Oberg as well. So, again, they are just sharing the love right now, moving the ball so well. Every pass has an intent to it. Every pass is trying to draw a player out of position so they can get the ball back on the other side, get an open look. So it just feels like Western Washington running their offense so effectively like a well-oiled machine.
And on the other side for St. Martin's, it's important that you have your stars on full display, but so far the reason why Western Washington has done well defensively has been how the Vikings have ganged up on St. Martin's key players.
Yeah, 9 turnovers in that first half for St. Martin's on the offensive end of the floor. Jada Travis really struggling to get going. 0 for 5 from beyond the arc, 1 of 8 from the field. Kiana Rios 0 for 4 from three-point range, 2 of 7 from the field. So it's just been a frustrating shooting half for St. Martin's. Again, not just from their stars, from virtually everyone. The bench players are actually coming off the bench and coming up with some big plays, but you're going to need your stars to make plays if you're St. Martin's and you want to get back into this one.
And it will rely on the stars, but another pocket that's also hurting the Saints, foul trouble.
Yeah, that's true as well. They've got 3 different players with 2 fouls. Luckily, you don't have that third. Kiana Rios did a great job playing that second quarter without picking up that third foul because she picked up her second late in the first. So you don't want to be sending Western Washington to the free throw line either right now. They're shooting 85.7%, 6 for 7 from the charity stripe. So not only are they drawing the fouls, they're making St. Martin's pay for them as well.
Making the Saints pay, and points in the paint also favor Western Washington 18-12. But as far as bench points are concerned, Western already has a talented group to begin with. No need to have points from the bench when you're seeing contributions from your offensive stars if you're Western Washington. But also a look, we have other scores, other games throughout the GNAC. Let's take a look. There's only one game that's happening at the moment, and a little bit of a surprise. Simon Fraser going up against Western Oregon after Western Oregon scored 4 points in the first quarter against Western Washington, against a Simon Fraser team fresh off a win against St. Martin's. 3:40 remains, and it's a 55-55 tie. That one's going down to the wire. Key standouts, Sophia Wazotsky has 15 points for Simon Fraser, and Mirlane Shelby didn't score until the winning bucket against St. Martin's. She has 13 points. Rachel Lukes with 10 for Simon Fraser. For Western Oregon, Siona Wells with 16 points. And for Western Oregon, Bella Petrojetti, after being blanked by Western Washington, she has 13 points for Western Oregon. At the moment, the Wolves with a 2-point lead. Also action happening in the NFL today. 2 games going on. Baltimore Ravens playing the Cleveland Browns today. And it is Baltimore with 7 minutes remaining in the third quarter with a 21-3 lead on the Cleveland Browns. And it all started with a pick 6 in the opening stages of the contest after a Bailey Zappi pass was intercepted and taken to the house. Baltimore with the early lead, and they haven't looked back. They're well on their way to clinching the AFC North. Other action happening in the National Football League today. Cincinnati Bengals take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cincinnati needing a win to keep their playoff hopes alive. And an injury update for those Bengals faithful or those that have fantasy implications. T. Higgins will be playing tonight. Chase Brown, however, is out. But also with what else is happening across the Pacific Northwest, Seattle Kraken, after earning a point in a shootout loss against the Vancouver Canucks, they host the Edmonton Oilers tonight. Get to see Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, 2 NHL MVPs on the same team from Climate Pledge Arena tonight. Puck drop scheduled for a little after 7 o'clock. That's a look at some of the scores throughout the GNAC. Also with the men's action happening today, St. Martin's will take on Montana State University Billings soon to follow. After the conclusion of Western Washington against St. Martin's and women's basketball, tip-off scheduled for a little after 7 o'clock. But on the other side, for Western Washington with action today, they host University of Alaska Anchorage. UAA coming off a win against Simon Fraser. Western Washington losing to Alaska Fairbanks on Thursday. 35-21 lead for Western Washington at the half. We'll take a break, and we'll be back for the second half of action right here on SMU Saints Athletics. Back to start the second half of play between Western Washington and St. Martin's. Glad you're with us here on SMU Saints Athletics. Western with Mason Oberg. Oberg has dished the ball well. Finds the open Jaden Watts. Right back to Oberg. 10 to shoot for Western Washington. Oberg straight down the lane. Counted in the foul for Mason Oberg.
She was dishing it in the first half. 7 assists. This time she calls her own number. Finishes through some contact. Chance for a three-point play to start the second half.
Mason Oberg with the drive for Western Washington. Here she is at the line. Missed on the effort for a three-point play. Remains only a 2-point sequence. Travis. Kiana Rios drifts inside, defended by Oberg. Kicked it out. Jada Travis the three. Gets it to go.
And that is a very good sign for St. Martin's. If Jada Travis can get going, she can shoot lights out, and you can blink, and all of a sudden it can be back to a 5-point game or less.
It all starts with one. Olivia Wickstrom has done everything for this Western team and does it again. Wickstrom up to 16 for Western. Here's Lakin Hill, the freshman, discerns to Avery Oster, who is fouled. Foul charged against Olivia Wickstrom. Her first personal, incredibly. Here's Jada Travis. Madeline Brown, watched by Grand Boyce. To the right side, Kiana Rios, missed on the triple. Punched up in the air. Possession stays with St. Martin's.
Great job by Oster to make sure that St. Martin's kept that ball on this end of the floor.
Saints inbound with Lakin Hill. Defended by Allison Deaver. To the right side, Madeline Brown. Tried to shake off Wickstrom to the corner. Lakin Hill drifted. Oster to Brown. Madeline Brown lost the ball. Western comes away with a steal. 15-point lead for Western Washington. Deaver to Wickstrom. Olivia Wickstrom on the drive. Raised the right foot. Travel call.
Done a pretty good job of keeping that foot on the ground. We've seen her go to that move a few times. This time just dragged it a little bit. That's all it takes, though.
A little over 2 minutes played in the second half. Here comes St. Martin's. Madeline Brown. Defended by Oberg. Lakin Hill. Dished inside by Madeline Brown. Jada Travis the three, well short. Saved by Kiana Rios for St. Martin's to the rack. Not enough mustard. Twice. She does grab the board. Jada Travis. Double team. Escorts. Lakin Hill. Missed on the triple. Jaden Watts comes away with a board for Western Washington as they advance. This is Mason Oberg. Kicked it left side. Intercepted by Jada Travis. Zoomed it on ahead. Kiana Rios loops one in play. Madeline Brown rides to the rack and scores.
Great transition there from the Saints. Starting to play a lot better on the defensive end of the floor as they're getting things going on offense. That's a good combination to cut this down to a 13-point game.
Have they found a rhythm yet? Kicked out. Long three. Missed by Deaver. Rebound claimed by Watts. Jaden Watts to the outskirts for Mason Oberg. This is Olivia Wickstrom. Dish to the baseline. Kicked out. Wickstrom finds Deaver. 5 to shoot. Left side. Oberg drives to the rack. She is fouled with 1 second on the shot clock. Lakin Hill charged on the foul.
It's her third now, so she's the first player really in foul trouble for either side.
Hill checks out in place of Casey Booster. So here is Mason Oberg at the line. Missed on the first free throw attempt. Western Washington as a team, 6 of 9 from the free throw line. Just shy of their average of the season, 75%. Another miss from Oberg. Here comes Jada Travis. Splits down the lane. Missed on the shot. Mason Oberg. Off the left-handed dribble. Discerns to Kroko. Down low. Watts to the rack. And she scores to add to the Western Washington lead. It's Kiana Rios. Travis, Booster, closes, dropped it. Met, missed on the J.
Great find by Booster. Those are the shots you're going to have to hit if you want to get back into this one.
Natty Grand Boys. Oberg. Looks to dash inside. Rouses against the St. Martin's defense. Kroko. From the right elbow. Grand Boys, 2 to shoot. Spins, scoops. Nearly made the shot on the floor. Travis. Expressed in attacking zone. Booster the 3. Nailing the 3. Casey Booster.
Got the ball inside to Travis, and all of a sudden Booster was trailing left all alone, and she knocks it down. A huge 3 there for the Saints, and a great find by Travis.
And St. Martin's come up with a defensive stop. Oberg looks for help. Kroko. Ellie Kroko closing in on Lamette. Watts, left side. Oberg shakes off Booster. Missed off the heel. Watts the board. She scores. Jaden Watts. Lead up to 14 for Western Washington. Madeline Brown. Watched by Wickstrom. Travis. Booster. Wide open 3. Missed it. Aaron on the shot. Here comes Olivia Wickstrom. She'll look to close. Left side. Wide open 3. Nailed by Maddie Grand Boys. Western Washington inching closer to another milestone for Carmen Dolfo. Timeout called by Natalie Marlowe. Forelli's Pizza has been locally owned and operated for almost 30 years and is the preferred pizza partner of Saints Athletics. Their top-of-the-line ingredients and quality service make for a one-of-a-kind experience that you can't beat. Try a slice for yourself at their Hawks Prairie location for a 12 or 16-inch pizza. 3:44 remains in the third quarter. Danny DeBach alongside Matthew King. Western Washington a 46-29 lead on St. Martin's. For Western Washington, this is the beginning for both teams of the GNAC season. And Western, although they lost their first game of the year in GNAC play against Montana State Billings, they are right back up to their feet to the surprise of absolutely no one.
Yeah, no, they came in with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. Not going to overlook anybody coming off of a loss. And they have kind of survived the shots St. Martin's has thrown at them. We've seen St. Martin's go on a couple of runs. Had cut it down to a 4-point game there in the second quarter before a 14-4 run to end the first half. And then they've come out and they just started shooting the ball lights out here in the third quarter. They've looked really, really strong here today.
And the Viking cruise has been one that last 3 games, clear sailing. Score update from the GNAC. It is official. Western Oregon has beaten Simon Fraser 67-64. And for Western Oregon, They earned their second victory in GNAC play to go to 2-2 on the campaign. Simon Fraser themselves dropped to 2-2. This is Keely Jade Smith for St. Martin's. Kiana Rios missed on the 3. 3-on-1 for Western Washington. Olivia Wickstrom drives to the rack, missed on the layup. Attorney Reed hunts for the board. Jada Travis emerges for St. Martin's. Keely Jade Smith. Travis, open 3. Missed off the heel. Grand Boyce the board. Lost it to Casey Booster. Blocked on the play by Grand Boyce. Maddie Grand Boyce comes up with the block for Western Washington. Oberg. Volleyball punches out to Olivia Wickstrom. Kicked along 3. Rolled off the rim from Vanderyacht. And Anna Vanderyacht taking it herself. Western up to a 19-point lead. Casey Booster looks to respond. She can't. In and out.
Just one of those days for the Saints. Some good looks. They're just not dropping.
To the top of the key, Oberg looks to close in on Eternity Reed. From the outskirts, Maddie Grand Boyce. Left side corner, Oberg. To drive inside, elevates out to Wickstrom. Foul called offensively against Western Washington in Mason Oberg. All this with a 19-point lead. St. Martin's goes on a line change. Maya Hatchett checks in along with Madeline Brown, Sarah Lamette. Also for St. Martin's as we are in a timeout. Whether it's competitive rates, affordable loans, or great service, Twin Star Credit Union is here to help you reach your financial goals every step of the way. Together, we can help you realize your financial dreams. Stop by one of our local branches or visit twinstarcu.com to learn more. Western Washington with a 19-point lead, and the attention goes to their next game. They will take on Seattle Pacific at home at Wiku Court at Carver Gym, where they will take on, they will play Northwest Nazarene, a team that is off to an 0-2 start. Not what they're accustomed to seeing over in Nampa, Northwest Nazarene, but they did play 2 of the toughest teams in the conference to begin, Alaska Anchorage, and also with a tough start against Central Washington as well. So Northwest Nazarene, a team, they are 0-2 at this point, and this is a team that isn't typically at those levels. So a game against a desperate NNU team, tough test for Western Washington coming up.
Yeah, it's what, most would call a trap game coming up for Western Washington. You get the momentum back on your side. The vibes are high once again. You don't want to overlook another opponent, but that loss to Billings to really refocus Western Washington might have been the best thing for the Vikings in the long run.
Olivia Wickstrom missed on the layup. Wickstrom a second time. Had it blocked by Lamette. St. Martin's is able to escape. Vikings will have one of the toughest stretches at home coming up against Northwest Nazarene, followed up by Central Washington. Central team that you'd expect to be up near the top. Randy Richardson Thornley has turned that program around. This jumper from Lamette goes. The shot clock expiring. St. Martin's, thanks to Lamette, able to score. Closing seconds of the third quarter. Here's Mason Oberg. Checked by Maya Hatchett, fetching for a steal. She was out of bounds one way or the other. Possession to the Vikings of Western Washington. Have to appreciate the effort from Natalie Marlowe's side, although the scoreboard not edge their way. And it was 40-minute effort that's been asked upon, and St. Martin's giving an effort so far. Deep three, missed by Deaver. Wickstrom comes up with yet another rebound for Western Washington. Wickstrom closes in, blocked by Hatchett. Possession to St. Mark. Maya Hatchett with the block.
Hatchett been another one of those players off the bench for the Saints to really light a spark under this team. We've seen her, we've seen Casey Booster get involved, we've seen Sarah Lamette. So the depth of the Saints has been a positive takeaway out of this one.
Hatchett records her third block of the season. Booster to Hatchett off the block. Booster wide open three. Got it. Casey Booster with the triple near the end of the third quarter. Here comes Western Washington. This is Mason Oberg. 8 seconds to go. Oberg from the elbow, long two, nails it. 2 seconds left. Hatchett, long shot, well short. And that's the way the third quarter comes to a close. Western Washington, a 50-34 lead on St. Martin's. Back after this on SMU Athletics. Back in action, start the fourth quarter. Western Washington well on their way. Another victory. Sarah Lamette with a shot that rolled off the rim. Foul called. Felled on the play was Kiana Rios. Maddie Grandboyce dished the foul. For Homage, Marysville went to high school. Marysville Getchell. Here's Kiana Rios. Out to Avery Oster for St. Martin's. Lamette in traffic. Shot that may have been tipped. Western to break out. Oberg slows it down. Defended by Maya Hatchett. Oberg looks to close in. Drives straight down the lane and scores. Mason Oberg.
He might have a bloody nose.
With the basket.
So the officials halt play. And training staff will attend to Maya Hatchett, who is in for repairs. 9:19 to go. St. Martin's will take on Seattle Pacific. They'll look to take on the 1-2 combination, Lane Kearns along with Hunter Beard. Both double-digit scores for Seattle Pacific, splitting the series last year between the two teams. But for St. Martin's, still against one of teams that is the class of the GNAC, what positives, Matthew King, can you take away for this St. Martin's team.
Again, kind of talked about it, the depth of the team, the bench players stepping up and really playing well. They've had the open looks. They just haven't fallen. It's been one of those days. Even the balls practically touch the net and pop back out. So just a frustrating day from there, but the bench players stepping in and playing a very, very strong game all the way around the floor is definitely a positive. And they've cleaned up the turnovers quite a bit here in the second half as well. Have kind of just erased those 2 turnovers here in the second half. So you are going into your next matchup with a little bit of positive momentum, but of course it's always better to get the win. But you got to find the positives when you can take them.
Well, if the road doesn't get any easier for St. Martin's after they play Seattle Pacific on the road, they have the toughest road trip in the GNAC outside of Alaska Fairbanks and Alaska Anchorage. They go from playing on Thursday, January the 9th at Seattle Pacific, and then 2 days later, they're on the road against Montana State University Billings.
Yeah, long trip there for the Saints coming up. But again, when you get into the GNAC, you're going to have those tough road trips. But to build your team, it's going to build the camaraderie of this team as well as you get into conference play as well. So, yeah, it looks very, very tough, but there can be a lot of positives that come out of it, especially they can go on the road and come away with a win.
And after they head to Montana State Billings, St. Martin's will only have to travel into the Mountain Time Zone once the rest of the regular season. That'll be against Northwest Nazarene out on February the 20th, near the end of the year. So for Saints fans, they'll get very well acquainted to playing in the Pacific Time Zone. Western Washington, on the other hand, their toughest homestand, in all likelihood, of the season, Central Washington in the I-90 rivalry, and such a battle between both those two schools. Western, of course, has been the class of the GNAC, and then Central Washington in recent years. They won the GNAC 3 years ago, and then Western, a trip to the national championship game. So, but for Carmen Dolfo, if barring a miracle, win number 699, and when asked about inching closer to win number 700, Carmen Dolfo, to no surprise, said only looking at one game at a time, and it's something that she hasn't really thought about.
Yeah, that's what makes her one of the very best coaches. The best coaches, they're not looking at that big, flashy, shiny win coming up. They're looking at the next game. That's all they care about, and she's taking care of business here today. And I'm sure on the way back, then she'll be looking forward to the next one and thinking, that could be win number 700.
Northwest Nazarene awaits the team that has given so many teams fits across the GNAC. They are excellent, especially with their pressure. Shooting free throws, Kiana Rios.
They called a flagrant on Oberg on the last play after the review.
Here's Rios. She goes 2 for 2. Still have healthy dosage of time remaining in the fourth quarter. Kiana Rios will inbound for the Saints. Coming up next from Twin Star Credit Union Court, the men will be in action against Montana State University Billings. Booster! And fine triple. Casey Booster seeing plenty of looks. Possession goes to Western Washington. And sometimes you see this over Christmas break, where you have 2 games in the GNAC around late November, early December. Olivia Wickstrom 2-on-1. Jaden Watts and a kick ball. Possession will stay with Western Washington. Sometimes you don't show your true colors. Foul charge against Jada Travis for St. Martin's. But if there's been one player that stood out from emerging after the brief break, Casey Booster has been just that, and she has a lot in her toolkit. Long 3 missed by Grand Boys. Jada Travis comes up with the board for St. Martin's. To the right side, Madeline Brown off the left-handed dribble. Rios shifted it to Booster. Rios watched by Watts. Travis leads Oster, shovels Rios along 2. That one's good. Yana Rios. Optimistic look for St. Martin's. Western crosses the timeline. Wickstrom kicked out to Mason Oberg. Left wing side, Graham Boyce. Wickstrom drifted right side for Mason Oberg. 5 to shoot. Oberg looks to drive. Harassed, gave it away. Jada Travis. 3 on 2 if they hurry. Booster looks for help. Here's Madeline Brown. Rios closes on Grand Boys. Shovels and scores! Counting in the foul for Kiana Rios.
How about that take from Kiana Rios? You know, I saw her win a high school state championship with Warden. She looks just the same, but only gotten stronger, more athletic with the footwork, and she showcased it right there. That was a tremendous take, through a little bit of contact, and now you can add a point with no time coming off the clock as well.
12-point game at the moment. Kiana Rios shooting 88% from the line, adds to that mark. It's an 11-point game. St. Martin's quick strike team, you never know.
They've made this one interesting down the stretch.
Oberg, next step on Madeline Brown. Mason Oberg kicked it outside. And a Vinderyacht find and finish from Allison Deaver. Sarah Lamette found to check into the game for St. Martin. This is Madeline Brown. Down to Maya Hatchett. Rios closes. Low block. Out to Rios again. Pestered by Grand Boyce. Hatchett defended by Vinderyacht. Hatchett splits through the middle. She's fouled. She'll head to the line.
6 for 8 from the line here today for St. Martin's. These free throws really becoming vital to the comeback attempt for the Saints. Gonna have to cash in on every opportunity.
Here's Maya Hatchett at the line for 2 shots. She misses the first. 6:53 to play. Back in, converted by Hatchett.
Jaden Watts back in for Western Washington.
And for Western Washington going further, they will face teams that specialize in the paint. And Jaden Watts may play a pivotal role for exactly that. Foul called against Sarah Lamette. But back to the point of Jaden Watts, there's going to be a game likely down the road where Western Washington will need to use Watts. But boy, she has so much that she can give to this Western team.
Yeah, she's an outstanding player on both ends of the floor. It's not just on offense or defense. You see her posting up right there. She's got long arms, can create chaos on the defensive end as well, and we've seen her do it tonight, block some shots.
Travel call on Keely Jade Smith. Western takes over with 6:25 left. For Western Washington, they face Northwest Nazarene. Vikings have won the last 4 against the Nighthawks.
You've seen right there, 3 of the last 6 have gone to overtime.
A lot drama. They lost the last 2 after those previous 4. Wickstrom missed on the 3. Vanderyacht comes up with the board. Those back in 2021-22, both games went overtime and both Northwest Nazarene victories. Possession to St. Martin's, much to the chagrin of the Western Washington bench. But Northwest Nazarene, a team that has given headaches to many teams in the GNAC, could be the staple to number 700 for Carmen Dolfo next Thursday. Vanderyacht initiates a turnover, saved by Oberg right to Watts.
Oberg's been tremendous in this ball game. She's been phenomenal, 10.7 assists, and then making plays like that as well.
The angular one. Here's Mason Oberg. Wickstrom nearly had it stolen. Watts down the lane, missed on the layup. Vanderyacht is harassed and fouled. That sends Anna Vanderyacht to the line. Vanderyacht, part of two Vikings, find their home in Linden, Washington. And you talk about a basketball factory, Linden has so much talent.
Yeah, it's a special community up there. I've been up there a few times. There's no place in the state like it. It is basketball 24/7, 365. If you're coming out of Linden, you're playing collegiately, you're going to be a pretty darn good basketball player.
Oberg, watched by Booster, shovels a shot and scores! What a shot from Mason Oberg. Western Washington pouring it on. Booster from the left side. Travis kicked it to Maya Hatchett behind the back. Lamette fetching for the board. Possession arrow does favor Western Washington. Here comes Western Washington. From the right side, Travis comes away with the steal. Right side, Booster the three, missed off the heel. Lamette, foul charged, possession to SMU.
They're going to get Vanderyacht with that block out down low.
4:17 remains. Here's Sarah Lamette at the line. So here is Lamette. For St. Martin's, free throw missed by Lamette. Next home game will be against Western Oregon. Coming off a win today against Simon Fraser. 3 o'clock tip-off. 2 weeks from now. Avery Oster checks in for St. Martin's. Saints are in the bonus with 4:17 to go. Here comes Maddie Grand-Boyce. She'll zoom ahead. Rios defending. Given to Olivia Wickstrom. Has quieted down in the second half. This shot from Allison Deaver, stretched ahead. Casey Booster driving on Vanderyacht, had it blocked.
A shoe played the best defense there. Came off of one of the Vikings.
Win off of Vanderyacht. Timeout called by Western Washington. And for Anna Vanderyacht, that is her first block of the year. For over 70 years, Panowitz Jewelers has provided clients with exquisite beauty and unsurpassed quality from our spacious and accessible store in Olympia, Washington. Visit Panowitz.com for more information or stop by in person at 111 Market Street, Northeast. Danny Bach alongside Matthew King. Pleasure to have you along, Matthew, as you know you were called last minute, but always a pleasure to have you along. And from what we've seen so far, you have been treated to an excellent showcase from the Western Washington team.
Yeah, we've seen Olivia Wickstrom now with a double-double, 16 points, 10 boards. Mason Oberg has kind of stolen the show here down the stretch, though, 12 points, 7 assists. She's been phenomenal for the Vikings as well. They've just kind of worn down the Saints, survived those big shots that St. Martin's used to try and get back in the game and just keep things rolling.
Kiana Rios is fouled. Again, Saints in the bonus. That will send them to the line once again. So here is Kiana Rios. Averages just under 14 points a game. She can inch closer to that mark here at the line. She makes the first free throw.
St. Martin's still within reach where they could go on a run here. 3:50 to go. Just going to need to get some stops on defense because right now Western Washington seems to be answering every score of St. Martin's with one of their own.
Allison Deaver had the foul. That's her fourth for what it's worth. Western trying to play the clock out. Graham Boyce, jump ball, possession to the Saints. Well, it might not be over yet.
It's not over yet. St. Martin's is in a good spot. They've got momentum on their side as well. A bucket, a steal. It was a jump ball, practically a steal. And now if you can get another bucket, cut this thing to single digits.
Keely Jade Smith had it roll off the rim. Booster can't claim the board. Vanderyacht is fouled by Jada Travis. With 3:23 left. What do you have to make of the showing from Jada Travis so far today?
It's been a tough day for her. We saw her. I've seen her play in high school, 2 for 12 from the field, 1 for 8. That's not a typical Jada Travis performance, and not a typical performance for what she's shown this season in her freshman year as St. Martin. It's going to be one that she's just going to have to flush, move on to the next one. There's going to be rough days like this. You just got to keep plugging along, trust your talent, and just keep on working.
Wickstrom, turnaround shot, denied by the rim. Here is Jada Travis, stretch pass ahead for Kiana Rios. Dished it, Keely Jade Smith, missed off the front of the rim. 2:50 to go.
We'll say one thing for Jada Travis. She still has 5 steals, 6 rebounds, so she's not, feeling sorry for herself for the missed shots. She's still hustling all over the floor, still making some plays.
Great performance, aggressive defense from Travis, and that's something that was evident as you saw in high school. Bellarmine Prep. Offensive foul called. Saints will take over. Still down by 11. What's impressive about this Western Washington team is not only their level of play, but also the competition they've played. Record of 7-5, but they have had a tough stretch to begin. And it'll only get tougher after their homestand against Central Washington and Northwest Nazarene. They'll have what many might say is the dreaded trip to Alaska, which includes a showdown against Alaska Anchorage.
It's a cold road trip up there, but it's a road trip where you're going to get battle tested again. There can be positives that come out of road trips like that. It just depends on how the mindset is going into it. Are you going to feel, down because you got to travel so far? Are you going to be locked and loaded, ready to go and make a statement?
St. Martin's comes away with another turnover and a frustration foul at the end of the sequence. Foul charge against Jaden Watts. 1:46 left. Look at other games happening for women's basketball in the GNAC today. Alaska Fairbanks taking on Northwest Nazarene. Here's Casey Booster at the line. Northwest Nazarene a winner today, 115-90. How's that for a lot of scoring?
I was going to say, that's a high-scoring ball game right there.
When you have the pressure that Northwest Nazarene claims, surprising is Fairbanks with 90 points. Booster converts on the back end. With Western Oregon, a winner against Simon Fraser. But what might be the game of the day in the GNAC, Alaska Anchorage taking on Central Washington, a game that has just gotten underway. Expect to see those two teams deep in the playoffs. Blowing an edge, Maddie Graham-Boyce. She's able to get on her feet. Score update. Mount Ellensburg, Alaska Anchorage, a 29-22 lead on the Wildcats, Central Washington. Coming up next, we'll have men's basketball, Montana State Billings against St. Martin's. Matchup between two teams that were ranked top 25 last year off and on. What factors to be a good one? Montana State Billings, a team that, we'll say it here, we try and stay away from it a few minutes. Montana State Billings, one of their key stars, goes by the name of Famous Left Hand. That's his name.
It's going to be on the all-name team for sure.
Graham-Boyce nails on the back end. Western Washington with an 11-point lead. With 97 seconds left, both teams are in the bonus.
Feels like right now St. Martin's can't have another empty possession. They got to come away with points on every possession from here on out. Down 11 with 97 seconds left. It's now or never.
So it begins on this possession. Ely Jade Smith, Rios down the lane. He's able to score. Timeout called by St. Martin's. Well, never know.
There's a good start. Cuts it to single digits for the first time since the second quarter. Now all of a sudden, you can get a stop. We've seen their defense create some issues for Western Washington. So St. Martin's, they're right back in this thing. This game's not over.
And defensively, who's impressed you the most for the Saints up to this point?
I mean, we kind of talked about Jada Travis already with her 5 points. She has played so well. But again, I keep going back to Casey Booster. It just seems like she keeps making play after play on not just defense, offense too. She's had a tremendous ball game. A couple of steals, a couple of boards, 10 points for her. She is really the lifeline right now for St. Martin's in this comeback bid.
We talk about stars that start to shine over Christmas break. Booster has been that, but the important matter here, can they come up with a steal? Graham-Boyce dishes to Olivia Wickstrom, who's been locked up in this second half of play. They cross the timeline with Olivia Wickstrom. Wickstrom held only 2 points in the second half. Wickstrom looks to drive, kicked out, left side, Anna Vanderja, 10 to shoot. Saints peel back defensively. Oberg with 3 to shoot, runs out of play. Possession stays with Western Washington with 1:02 left, but 3 to shoot. To imagine a catch and shoot situation potentially. Darted pass, right side, shot at the buzzer. Shot clock violation against Western Washington. Saints with the basketball. They bring Avery Oster on the floor. Again, pay attention to Casey Booster, flanked on the right side. And a travel call that stunts the possession for St. Martin's.
That is a tough turnover there, committed by St. Martin's. Felt like they had the momentum on their side. Now you have to get a takeaway. You can't let the shot clock just wind down anymore.
Can't afford to have Western go to the free throw line. Both teams in the bonus, or maybe you do. Maya Hatchett charged on the foul for St. Martin's.
I think I would have waited to foul until they got into the front court, see if you can get that backcourt violation with a 10 count, but I'm not a coach, so what do I know?
We've said that a couple times. At the line, here is Mason Oberg. 78 free throw percentage. So far at the line today, 2 of 5. Make it 3 of 6. 52 seconds left. And she converts on the back end to give Western Washington an 11-point lead. Here comes Jada Travis. Hill hands off to Kiana Rios. From the low block, shuffled one. Off the window, foul called against Western Washington.
And that's free throws, a chance to score with the clock stopped. Rios headed back to the free throw line. She's 6 of 7 from the charity stripe, so she shot free throws very well. It's kind of the shooter you want there right now if you're St. Martin's.
Here is Rios. She converts on the free throw. That gives her a game-high 17. In some respects, maybe even a quiet stat line for her. 18 for Rios after going 2 of 2 from the stripe. Timeout called by Carmen Dolfo in Western Washington with 41 seconds left.
Yeah, and Rios only had 5 at the midway point, so she has really got her game going in the fourth quarter, or in the second half, I should say. But she's done a great job again. She had those 2 fouls in the first quarter. She's only picked up 1 since, so she's been keeping herself available, the best availability, Danny. So she's been able to stay in that ball game and really do wonderful things on both ends of the floor for the Saints.
And you know that Rios is going to be counted upon next week on the road in the massive road trip, Seattle Pacific on Thursday, all the way over to Billings, Montana on that following Saturday. So tough sequence coming down the pipe for the Saints. Western Washington, they'll have a tough schedule too. Central Washington and Northwest Nazarene awaiting, with the Nighthawks awaiting the Vikings on Thursday, what could be a very historic night. Oberg is fouled by Maya Hatchett.
Oberg, 4 of 7 from the charity stripe, so she's been hit or miss. You're hoping that she'll miss one of these if you're St. Martin's.
Western,
Oberg, a chance to maybe ice this one away if she hits them both.
9-point game. Here is Mason Oberg. Western below their free throw average. This will add to it, the conversion from Oberg. And a double-digit lead for Western Washington. She goes 2 for 2. Jada Travis advances up the floor for the Saints. Rios, bounce pass. Rainbow chance from Lake and Hill. Rebound claimed by Western Washington. Wickstrom is fouled. She'll head to the line with a chance to pad her stats.
Wickstrom, again, a very quiet second half, just 2 points in the second half, but she's still done the little things. 11 rebounds to get her double-double, 4 steals, and 1 assist. So she's still done her part in the second half, though.
Wickstrom also adding to the scoring department, something that she had not seen throughout the totality of the second half. An 18-point performance for Olivia Wickstrom. And a timeout called by Natalie Marlowe of St. Martin's. So Saints calling timeout. Western Washington on their way to victory against the Saints. These two teams will meet again. Matchup that will happen on January the 30th, a Thursday, up at Weeku Court at Carver Gym. And Western Washington faithful, they do an excellent job top to bottom with their program. It'll be a pleasure to see the Saints over at Weeku Court on January the 30th. To the last 28 seconds of regulation. Rios, straightaway 3. Missed it wide to the right. Oberg fetches for the board into the Saints bench. And possession, no official sign given the moment. No definitive ruling yet. It seems as if officials will go to review. Camera angle will be from the angle that you're seeing at home. Might be tough to detect from the vantage point that we have, the play that's on the opposite sideline.
Yeah, I thought I saw one official initially point in favor of St. Martin's, but then they decided to go to the review. So we'll see if they can come to a conclusion here.
So they look over the ruling. St. Martin's and Montana State Billings, the men soon to follow. A matchup between two teams undefeated in GNAC play, and coincidentally enough, the other two teams undefeated are also playing each other today. Northwest Nazarene against Central Washington, that over in Nampa. So all in all, a fun day of basketball still on the horizon. Should be a fun one. We'll get to see St. Martin's after a three-point avalanche from Miles Samuels with a back-to-back three sequence that turned the game around against Seattle Pacific and Montana State Billings. They're coming off a 26-point performance from Famous Left Hand.
Famous Left Hand. You're excited to just call that name over and over again, aren't you?
Well, there's a couple other guys for Billings. I'll try not to beat the dead horse, because a lot of people, especially Billings faithful, they've heard it. Famous Left Hand. He's right-handed. Well, we're not going to do that, or at least we'll try not to. Nick Beckman and I will be on the call for that one. But all in all, Western Washington, is the review still continues. Tough angle, tough to discern from. Carmen Dolfo always preaches playing 100% intensity. And we saw that today from Western with, at the moment, 3 players, double figures, Wickstrom, the double-double. This will be a team that we will see here at Marcus Pavilion again, with the GNAC tournament being hosted by St. Martin's this year. That'll be happening on the first full weekend of March. And our good friend Sean Wally will be a part of the broadcast crew for the GNAC tournament. Hope to see Sean Wally here for several other broadcasts, St. Martin's basketball along the way. Officials, have they come up with a verdict? There's still some indecision, and it was a tough angle to begin with, and they're trying to decipher from what's already a difficult view.
Yeah, it's not an easy view. And it was a close play down there. Their bodies flying all over.
And possession eventually goes to the Saints. 22 seconds left.
Yeah, they added a little bit more time, too, on the clock.
Travis loops one ahead for Keely Jade Smith, defended by Anna Vanderja. Shot clock turned off for the Saints. Casey Booster over the shoulder. Keely Jade Smith, the 3, missed everything. Western ball with 16 seconds left. Oberg off the inbounds to Graham Boyce. Wickstrom breaks the timeline, 10 seconds to go. Out into the protection of Maddie Graham Boyce to Mason Oberg. Carmen Dolfo, 1 win away from 700 in her collegiate coaching career. She does so with win number 699 off the heels of a 63-50 win over St. Martin's. Western Washington ups their record to 8-5, 3-1 in conference play. The Saints drop to 8-4 and 1-3 in GNAC play. Let's take a look at some of the stats in the ball game. First for Western Washington, they finish with 3 players in double digits in what truly was an all-around performance.
Yeah, great team effort. Olivia Wickstrom, though, leading the way with 18 points, 11 rebounds for her double-double, added 4 steals as well. We also saw Deaver end up with 10 points and 4 boards. That's Allison Deaver. And then Mason Oberg, 16.7 assists, 6 of 9 from the charity stripe as well. She was tremendous down the stretch. You got to throw in the 9 points from Grand Boyce and the 8 from Watts as well.
And only 5 players scoring for Western, at least with, like you said, Matthew, at least 8 points in the effort. Western Washington with the win will take on Northwest Nazarene next Thursday in what could be a very historic night for St. Martin's in defeat. A couple of bright spots to take away, although it does end up in defeat.
Yeah, for St. Martin's, the stat I look at immediately, bench points. They outscored Western Washington's bench 21-2. That is tremendous. 10 of those points coming from Casey Booster, who is, again, tremendous off the bench, but they are led with 18 from Kiana Rios in this one. Also had 7 boards, 4 assists, the 5 steals from Jada Travis go along with her 7 rebounds, as well as just a 3-point shooting. A rough day from beyond the arc for the Saints.
And the St. Martin's Saints will move on and take on Seattle Pacific, a matchup that will take place next Thursday before playing Montana State University Billings on Saturday. One more look at scores throughout the GNAC for all the conference matchups as a look at some of the scores. Final, Western Oregon a winner against Simon Fraser 67-64. Northwest Nazarene defeats Alaska Fairbanks by the count of 115-90 in a high-scoring affair between those GNAC foes. And the other scoring update, they are in the early stages. Alaska Anchorage with the lead on Central Washington, 33-29 up in Ellensburg. And that is the lone game happening in women's basketball in the GNAC up to this point. Coming up next, St. Martin's men take on Montana State University Billings, a battle between 2 undefeated teams in GNAC play. Western Washington, though, a winner against St. Martin's 63-50. Matthew King, final thoughts on your assessment of today?
Well, for Western Washington, they did a great job of, again, surviving the charges from St. Martin. St. Martin's didn't go away. And also, St. Martin's, they cleaned up their turnovers, only 5 turnovers in the second half. They ended up winning the turnover battle. They turned over the ball 14 times, 417, though. So for the Saints, there are those positives to take away from this one. Western Washington, just too much, though. Too many scores all across the floor. The starting 5 really took over. And they did a tremendous job of having both Oberg and Deaver avoid fouling out down the stretch when both those players were definitely needed on the floor. So for Western Washington, showed a lot of heart in fighting off a hard-charging Saints team. And for the Saints, they did a tremendous job of not just rolling over and making Western Washington play a full 40 minutes.
A full 40 from the Western Washington team. They will look for win number 700 for their head coach, Carmen Dolfo, coming up next Thursday against Northwest Nazarene. Matthew, great to have you along for the ride.
Always a pleasure. I appreciate you guys letting me hop on. It was a blast.
Great time, Matthew. That's all the time that we have for today's broadcast. A special thank you to everyone who makes this broadcast possible. For our producer, Matt Schwarzler, and for Matthew King, I'm Danny DeBach saying so long and take care. And thanks for letting us be a part of your evening. Your final score, Western Washington 63, St. Martin's 50. We'll see you next time on the SMU Saints Athletic Livestream.